Today we're going to be looking at shawls. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel, and hi to all my new subscribers. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Well, I've just spent 5 minutes talking to the camera and realised I hadn't pressed the record button properly, so that was a good start to the day. So it is definitely recording now. So today we're going to be talking about two shawls using the same pattern. This is for knitting. So obviously if you're not interested in knitting, then obviously this vlog won't be for you. But I like to dabble with knitting every now and then, just to try and keep my skill set up. I'm not a very good knitter, I'm a very slow knitter. What I'm going to do is going to go into the pattern, all the yarns and everything, and then I'll do a sort of life update at the end. So it's a one-page pattern, so for those of you that aren't very good at reading patterns, this is really good as a starting point. It's also really good because it's primarily just garter stitch. There's no purl stitches. If you're like me and you hate purl stitch, this one's for you. It does have a yarn over and make one stitch in it. They're the only additional stitches, and knit two together. All fairly simple. I found this pattern through Catherine of Crafternoon Treats podcast. I think she calls hers a podcast. This was quite a while back, and it actually was when I was having a break from YouTube. As in, like, putting stuff up myself. Obviously I was still watching YouTube, but and she shared a shawl she'd been working on. Now, if you know how to do the garter stitch but you're not sure about the other stitches, Catherine does actually show you in one of her podcasts how to do it. So I'll obviously put the link for it down in the description box so that you can find it. I'll also put the link for the pattern from Ravelry. It is a free pattern. But basically you just cast on the set amount of stitches and you make one at the end. That's the first row. And then rows 2 and 3 are just repeated. You knit 2, yarn over, knit the rest of the row up until the last 2 stitches and knit those 2 together. And the next row you knit all the stitches and you make one out of the final stitch. And you just do that over and over. So actually, once you've got the basics, it's actually quite easy. So it's called Linus Shawl, or Shawl Linus it says on the pattern. It's by Annette Cords or Cordes, I'm not quite sure how that's pronounced. So that's the name of the pattern. And the lady's name, I can do without trying to give too much away, is that. And there's a website there. Not sure. Doesn't want to focus very well. Anyway, I'll put the links down below so you'll still be able to find it. So really, once you've worked out what rows 2 and 3 are, you don't really need the pattern. It's quite simple. Now, the first shawl I'm going to show, I know what yarn I used. Unfortunately, I don't know what the colourway is called because I lost the ball band, and I can't remember. I will say that neither of these have been blocked. That's more out of, well, the first one's out of just sheer laziness, and I can't decide whether I'm keeping it for me or not. And the second one is because I've literally only just finished it last night, so I haven't had a chance to block it, but I thought I'd share it. And so this is the first one. So as you can see, they're quite wide. They're not very deep scarves, but they're quite good for, you know, a lot of us do this, don't we? They're quite good for that. They fit quite nicely. Yarn for this one is actually a Mariner yarn. What a surprise. It's called Mariner Mermaid. I can't remember the colourway. I can't remember if they've changed all the names for the mermaid yarns. I think it might be called Fireworks now, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. And it was something like Dusky Pink or something like that. I think. But like I said, I really can't remember for sure, so please don't quote me on that. But it's a really pretty yarn. It's got sort of turquoise, purple, sort of a nice dark pink in it, lilac, some sort of mint green in it, but not a lot. But I just think it's really, really pretty. And the way the pattern works, you end up where you do the yarn overs and the make ones. One end you get, I don't know how well this one's good, it'll probably show better on the other one, but you get little holes come through. And you get different effect where you've knitted two together. This one I knitted on straight needles. I'm not very keen on bamboo needles, but I've only got a small selection of needles to choose from in general, so some have come with magazines that I've got in the past from years ago, because I don't really buy knit in magazines now. And yeah, the needles I had were only about so long. They weren't huge needles, and the pattern calls 3.5mm needles. I only had 4.5mm was the nearest size I had, and they were bamboo ones, like I say, about that long. So this was 100g ball. It's quite stretchy compared to the other one. It's got a lot of sort of bounce to it, if that makes sense. You know, there's a lot of slack in the stitches. I mean, I have to say the yarn is beautifully soft for this. This is where Mariner yarns were a lot softer. Some of them aren't as soft. Some are, some aren't now. The newer ones tend to be a bit rougher. I don't know what they've done to it. It's probably a cost cutting exercise, but it's not as good as it used to be. But this is when it was really soft, so this feels lovely. I haven't decided whether I'm going to keep this one for myself or not, because it was yarn that I was given to me as a Christmas gift about 2-3 years back. So and because it's got sort of purples and stuff in it, I might keep it for myself. I haven't decided yet. I keep humming and ahhing whether to keep it or not. I'm not sure. I really quite like it, but I haven't actually used it yet. So I don't know. Love to know what you think I should do. You tell me what I should do. So the second shawl, I actually tried out my needles, my new ones, my circular ones, which I've shown in a previous video. I think they're called they're Knit Pros. I think they were Novas, I think they were. So I used the 3.5mm needles, and I used the 100cm cable, and that was just about right. These were really nice to work with, not overly slippy, but slippy enough. The only thing is one of them had a little bit of a sharp edge on the point. They're not really sharp, but they're about right for the sharpness on the end, but it must have just had a little rough bit, and it scratched one of the other needles. That's the, so I've got a little bit of a bit that just catches slightly now, but it could just be the way I knit. The only thing I've found with these needles is, this is my first time using them, when I got about halfway through the shawl, I noticed that they were starting to unscrew by the time I got to the end of the row. So I just kept checking them and retightening them, or not over tightening, but just screwing them back on so they were on properly. So that's the only thing I would say with these, is that you just have to watch that they don't unscrew. I didn't want to overly tighten them because obviously I didn't want to ruin the thread. But yeah, on the whole I quite enjoyed using those, so that was a nice experience. I've never used circulars before, so that's been a good experience. So this is the other shawl that I've done. This is very slight, this is used just under 200 grams, and it's only come out very slightly bigger than the other one. I'm guessing it's probably because of the needle size. This isn't as springy as the other one. Has got a spring to it still, but doesn't stretch as much as the other one, and I think that's because of the tighter needles. I'm no knitting expert, so maybe somebody can enlighten me. So I wanted to show you the holes. So this is the end where you do the yarn over, so hopefully you can see that you get these pretty little holes at the end, which are meant to be there. And then the other side, where you knit two together. I don't know how well this is going to come up on camera, but you can see you get a kind of like almost like an edging on the other side. So this is yarn, one which you've seen and one which I haven't. I've used 2 yarns for this. The first one, actually Sian from Sian's Crafty Corner gave to me quite a long time ago, and I haven't actually shown that batch of wool that she, yarn, it's an English thing to say wool, sorry, yarn that Sian sent me, the first batch she ever sent me, I never actually showed on camera. One of the yarns she sent me was, no great surprise for those of you who know Sian, King Cole Splash double knitting, and the shade was 880 and it's called Sunrise. That will focus. There we go, hopefully that's focused. Anyway, it's called Sunrise. So that yarn is all these, it's basically a neon yarn, and it's got neon pink, yellow, orange, and then it's got these bits that are flecked with green, 2 different coloured greens and sort of a beige in between. So if I just put that a bit closer to the camera, so that's the kind of effect you get. So I think originally Sian used, she'd used that yarn, I think a ball of that yarn, for a tutor fin I think she made, and I know that she said she just couldn't work with the colour anymore because it was sending her eyes a bit loopy. So what I decided to do was to break it up. Now some of you will remember I've got this joined onto another project, so because I'm making something else. So some of you will remember this was yarn that Jan Carruthers sent me very recently. So it's called P-Tech. It doesn't have a colour number on the label on any of the balls, so I don't know what the colour number is. Takes 4mm needles, and it's 3.5 to 4mm knitting needles, 4mm hooks, and it's 300 metres and a 100 gram ball. The King Cole Splash, which I should have said, these are both 100% acrylic. The King Cole Splash was 320 yards or 290 metres. So there's a very slight, there's about 10 metres difference between the two. And the King Cole is supposed to have 4mm knitting needles. It doesn't say hook on there, so I presume it would be the same size. Yes, so this doesn't have a colour number unfortunately, but that's the yarn it is. I know that Jan got it off eBay. So if you need to know any more specifics than that, if you want to try this yarn, you'll need to contact Jan direct. I will put a link to both Sian's and Jan's channels down below if you've not come across them before. They've both got really good channels, and I adore them both, and I'm very lucky to have them as friends. This yarn, I mean, well, both yarns were really nice to work with. This one's, when you work with it, it's almost got like a spongy feel to it. It's really quite strange, not like any yarn I've ever worked with before. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, and it was actually quite nice to work with. It's reasonably soft. Oh, I'm saying a lot, I'm sorry. I'm a bit tired today. There we go again. What? Sorry. So, anyway, so what I've done is I've alternated. So you start at the narrowest point. So I basically measured about 10 centimetres for there. And then along the edge where you knit 2 stitches together, I basically did another bit that was 10 centimetres across there, and again, and it wasn't exact, I just sort of roughly as near to 10 centimetres as I could, and so I've basically just done 10 centimetre stripes alternating between the 2 yarns, like that, and then I finished with the yellow just to sort of even it out. But I think actually it looks quite pretty. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's come out quite nice actually. I'm quite pleased with it. It's taken me about a week and a half to do. I'm quite a slow knitter. I have spent a lot of hours doing this, so potentially it would have taken me a lot longer. But I'm quite pleased with it. I think it kind of tells you that I'm actually hankering after spring a little bit. So yeah, so that's the Linus shawl. Like I say, it's a really simple pattern. I have actually started working, there was a tiny bit of the king coal left. I'll show you how much I've got. I've actually started working on a hat. I'll probably go into more details about this in the next one, but I've got a little bit more of the king coal, tiny bit left, and I'm on the second ball because I used just under a ball of this one because it had 10, like I say, 10 metres more on than the king coal. So I used up to about there on the hat for the ends of the last ball, and I'm now using the second ball. So I am making a hat. It's not finished, so I will probably show that in the next video when it's completed, and I'm using 3.5mm hook if anyone's wondering for that, to keep it consistent. I thought it'd be nice to have a nice matching hat as I'd got some left over. I think I'm planning to possibly do a giraffe with some of the other yellow for kids in Belarus. That'll be one of the projects. I've got this ball that I'm using, and I've got 3 more balls that I could use that Jan sent me. Jan sent me loads of yarn, so it's going to take me a while to use it all up. Yeah, so that's it from the sharing side of it. Updates on my life. Well, I'm feeling a lot better. You've probably noticed I do still have a cough. It's one of them horrible dry tickly coughs. I feel fine in myself, just it catches me every now and then. I'll have a bit of a coughing session, and then I'm alright for quite a while. But as you can probably tell, I'm not coughing as much as I was in my last video, which I recorded last week. So yeah, so I feel a lot better. Had a bit of a run-in with my car insurance because it was up for renewal. The company I've been with decided to take the renewal money 5 days before it was due without my permission, and I wasn't renewing with them anyway because they were £40 more expensive than any other quotes I got. And they told me it would take 48 hours to go back into my account, and it actually took 5 days. And I had an issue with the direct debit that was coming out because they literally wiped out my bank account. So there was a lot of scrambling to cover a direct debit, and because did all that, and then 2 days later the money goes back in. I have got it back, but I've had a huge issue with that. And I've had an issue with the local news agents because we have prepaid meters here, and I have to go round to the news agents to get gas and electric. You have like key things and you put them in the meter and it transfers the money, and yeah, I spent £10 and they took 30 out on my card, then put 10 back in on the same day. So basically I was £10 down. I went in and complained. The guy supposedly refunded me, but took £10 out of my account and then put £10 in. So I'm still £10 down. So I'm actually going to go and complain to head office. So I haven't actually had time to do that. It's been quite a busy week here. So yeah, I'm not very impressed with that. So if you pay by card with anything, make sure you check what you're actually paying for before you press the PIN number, because it's never happened there before, but I'm not terribly impressed with the person that dealt with me. So I'm going to be talking to head office. So I've had that little bit of excitement in my life. I've won a competition on Facebook. There was a local company in a town called Thetford, which is about 20-minute drive from the town that I live in. And the lady was running a competition to win a scented doorstop made of fabric. She makes them herself. She is a small business. Yeah, I should be getting that tomorrow. And actually she does drawstring bags as well. She does wheat bags, the ones that you heat up and put around your neck or wherever you need to keep warm. I know that Jan uses them. She does tote bags, and she does some little pictures with like Scrabble pieces with like messages and bits and pieces on. So I've got that coming hopefully tomorrow, which is Saturday. So probably the next video I will show you the doorstop and the bag that I've ordered. I actually did an order with it, and they're both being delivered together. I ordered it last night, and we have a mutual friend who's actually coming to my hometown and is dropping it off. And because she knew that, she actually sped through my order for the drawstring bag. And yeah, literally last night I ordered it about 9 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock she messaged me to say she'd ordered it. She was going to refund the postage and get it delivered at the same time as my doorstop. So that was pretty impressive. The only thing I will say, she only delivers to the UK at the minute. But I will go into all the details about that and show you, because it is a handmade thing, so I think it's kind of relevant to the channel. And drawstring bags, obviously good for project bags, so I'll be giving all the details of that probably in my next video. Haven't forgotten about the giveaway. I just have to order some yarn for the second and third prize. So that will be my next job once I finish recording this. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's been some other things going on, but I really can't go into it because it's confidential to do with my friend and our life, and yeah, so I can't really go into that. Yeah. Oh, and the other thing, that was the other thing I was going to tell you guys. Some of you that follow me on Facebook will know that, and those of you in the UK will be aware, there was a storm that came through the UK called Doris. Weird name, but hey. And where I live, we've got very, very high winds, torrential rain, that kind of thing. Nothing to what you guys have in the States. Some of you guys sent me a lot of messages saying stay safe and all that stuff, and it was really sweet. Weren't really any danger other than falling trees. If you're out and about, there's not really much danger. Nothing like the tornadoes and the hurricanes and things you have. Our storms are quite different. We're kind of weedy in comparison. But my craft shed, which is at my mum's, the felt on the roof decided to rip off right on the apex. And my mum lives on the top of a hill, and the shed is on a slope itself, which makes it even higher. It's really, really high up. So I had to climb up there and try and quickly, the day after, put some felt back on. So I might tag some pictures of the before and after, just so you got an idea of what I was doing. It actually ripped on both sides of the shed, but I only took a picture from one side because you can't. There's another shed beside it, so you couldn't really take it from the other side. To give you an idea, I think it's one of the most terrifying things I've ever done. It was so high, and I kept feeling like I was slipping. It was a nightmare. It does need some more felt put on it in other areas because it's been on for a while, but I managed to get it, the worst of it, covered, so that at least until the summer, when the weather's a bit better, and I can yeah, sort of put some more on and sort it out properly. It was quite windy the day I did it, which kind of made it a bit scary. So I've done that as well. Yeah, so that was an unexpected expense because we had to go and get roof felt and some nails and whatnot. Yeah, so that was interesting. Yeah, but that's pretty much it really. So I've had a few sort of horrible things and one really nice thing. So winning the competition was really, really nice. It's always nice when you win things, isn't it? Because you just think, yay, I've been noticed. It's kind of like a little present, isn't it, to yourself? It's kind of nice. Especially when you're in a tight budget like me, it's kind of nice. And we actually needed a doorstop because we have shopping food shopping delivered, and the front door has an automatic thing on it where it would automatically pull it shut, so you have to prop the door open in order to take the delivery in. So we needed a doorstop, and I've been trying to find one, so actually it was really good timing, so I'll be looking forward to using that. So yeah, but anyway, I'll talk more about that next video. I'm going to end up repeating myself. Coming up, there will be the giveaway, the doorstop and the project bag. I should do that. There will be the finished hat. I need to finish that unicorn that I mentioned in my last video, and I don't know what else. I'm trying to start using the yarns up that obviously been donated to me. So ladies, if you donated, it's going to be a bit of a mishmash, what's going to be used where and when, so I hope you understand. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Love to know how you all are. Thank you to everyone that has joined my Facebook group. It's going really well. Link is down in the description, so do come along and join us. It's just a place where we can share what we've been making and encourage each other, basically. Swap ideas and that kind of thing. So do come along and join us. Thank you for those that have. So that's it. I'm going to stop rambling. So until next time, remember to stay well, happy crafting, and remember, until next time, stay true to yourself. Bye.